Well, hello again and welcome to, yes, if you've guessed the location there behind me, Tynemouth Long Sands. Why not? I was coming here for meeting someone for a coffee today after Eddie's press conference and decided to bring with me my selfie stick, ring light and microphone. Now they thought it was weird when I turned up, but no, it's all in the name of content. And there is a sort of loose connection to Newcastle United, these parts. I know back in the 80s under Arthur Cox, Jack Charlton, Willie McFall, the team used to train up here during pre-season, and Eddie Howe himself is a big fan as well. He's told me. I think he likes coming up here with the dog and his family at times, and who wouldn't? You know, absolutely stunning, isn't it? In these parts, and I know some of the expat viewers in particular quite enjoy taking these videos out on location. So yeah, like I said, I was at Eddie's press conference this morning ahead of tomorrow's game down at West Ham. I'll get to what was said in that shortly, and interestingly there was a couple of revelations with regards summer transfer budgets, which I think you will find interesting, and I'll go on to talk about who or what positions I think Newcastle should be targeting before the start of next season. But first of all, a couple of little bits of housekeeping. First of all, yeah, I can't believe not more of you picked me up, or certainly took the mick as my friends did, out of my exchange with Eddie Howe during the last video. Yeah, I mean, fawning is probably the best word. It was my very own Jay Cartwright football friends moment, and on the back of that, my friends have actually clipped up a couple of GIFs for future use. So if any of you ever need an "oh really" GIF, here it is. Oh really? And if any of you want a GIF just to replace the laugh emoji, here it is too. Anyway, there you go. Yeah, I'm not quite jumping on car bonnets in protest just yet, but watching it back, it was entirely deserved, I have to say. So yeah, football friends. But yeah, what was my football friend saying this morning? Well, we were really trying to press them on Newcastle's presence in the top four. You know, the back up there after 4 or 5 games away, and bearing in mind we're approaching the final 10 games of the season now, I think it is fair to try and really push Eddie on Newcastle's top 4 ambitions. Now, what he did say, and what he was prepared to commit to was, which is what I've written the story about coming out of the press conference, is that yes, absolutely, you know, this isn't too soon for Newcastle to qualify for the Champions League in terms of their journey. It was the point I made the other day, didn't I? This theory that's going around that perhaps where they're at now, that it could be a little bit too soon for them. It could cause them more problems than solutions. Really, I don't subscribe to that at all. And Eddie himself said this morning, you know, that no, this club wants to go places, and it wants to go places quickly. To that end, it would be a dangerous thing for him to say that you know, Champions League qualification would be a bad thing. Now, what he did reveal is, which I thought was very interesting, I think you guys will be keen to know, is that they are currently working ahead of the summer to 3 different budgets. A transfer budget that would allow for Champions League qualification, which is obviously the premium package, you know, the economy package, which is probably Europa League / Conference League qualification, and then the budget option, which is missing out on Europe altogether. I sound like an enterprise car salesman there, don't I? But car rental. But yeah, it was just very telling that he said, you know, those conversations are happening already, and for me, the reason I say they should be aiming for the Champions League now is that why not push back on those boundaries? Why would the club, why would Eddie want another summer where you're mindful of FFP? I just think if you're in the Champions League, it affords you the chance to go for your very top targets. Now, what positions should they be going for? Now, money was no object, I think, for really, you know, top class pedigree premium players. I think a holding midfielder, a number 6, which would afford Bruno license to play further forward. Now, as much as Bruno was a number 6 holding midfielder in his time at Lyon, I don't necessarily think he's that player for the Premier League, and I think those on the inside at Newcastle perhaps tend to agree that his skill set would be better suited with a little bit more freedom in a playmaker role in that 8 to the right of a number 6. Now, who would they want in that role? I mean, a name which has been mentioned to me 1 or 2 times, and you know, could depend on this team being relegated, but Amadou Onana down at Everton is someone who I think they like. We've spoken about Ruben Neves, but you know, does he not fall in the Bruno category playmaker? I just think in that number 6 role they need someone with with legs, with physicality, someone who can protect the back four, put their foot in, but also get up and down the park as well. So I think that would almost be for me the number one priority. Very closely followed by the winger. Now you might look and think they've got Miguel Almiron just signed a new contract, Anthony Gordon, Elliot Anderson, Alan St Maximin and Jacob Murphy, who, by the way, I mentioned Murphy in my video after the game on Sunday. He deserved mention. I thought he was very, very good, and that level of effort and application, it's never questioned with Jacob Murphy, but I thought on Sunday and in the last couple of games I think there's been real quality too, and fair play to him. He deserves singling out. But yeah, I just think what they're missing, and if you want to go to that next level, what is in vogue, it's the inverted wingers who cut in and score goals. Mohamed Salah, Bukayo Saka this season, that ilk of player, we've seen them all across world football. It's it's almost the position every kid wants to be now. When we were younger, we all wanted to be centre forwards. Now it's that inverted winger type, and Newcastle don't have one who you would say is a regular, consistent goal scorer. Okay, you're probably shouting back at me, Miguel Almiron, and he this season has stepped up to that. But I just think over time, is Almiron going to be that player on a consistent basis? I'm not entirely sure. So I do think there is scope for another, a real top quality player in that position, someone who will score goals and will assist goals. And I mentioned those names there, Saka and Salah, of course, they're at the very, very, very top of the tree. But that type, I think, is what they should be going for. Elsewhere, what I know they're interested in is another right-centred centre-back, someone who can perhaps play, I use the phrase second fiddle, but a younger type to Fabian Schär, maybe in the mould of a Sven Botman who they bought in, that type of profile, 21, 22, maybe from the continent, someone who can come in and fill that role on the right-hand side, probably initially as understudy to Schär, a specialist left-back as well. Now I'm a big fan of Matt Targett, but I do think going forward that a real attacking left back, someone who plays that position in the modern mould, is something they should be going for. Even right back on the other side as well. Kieran Trippier's 31, 32 now, I think. While he was excellent on Sunday, he's not going to be around forever. Is Harrison Ashby the answer? We don't know. So yeah, those positions for me for now. In fact, that's pretty much every position on the pitch, bar striker I've mentioned, isn't it? They should be looking at. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting summer either way. But if they do qualify for the Champions League, it does just massively push back on those boundaries in terms of what they can do. Because we've heard all about FFP. They've spent £250 million so far over the 3 windows. FFP is real. We've had this briefing many times and we've said it to you guys, and of course eyebrows are raised and we end up looking a little bit stupid when they go out and spend the money that they have done. But it does exist. There are no loopholes anymore, and I think if Newcastle didn't make the Champions League this summer, I think we would see an economy budget to a degree. So anyway, before all of that, of course, and to make sure they are playing Champions League football, they've got to negotiate the last 11 matches now. Down at West Ham tomorrow, Brentford on Saturday, Aston Villa away. I think the following Saturday, I think the next 3 are going to be hugely informative as to where they go. But as I made the point on Sunday, I just think they're in such a good place right now. I wrote a piece subsequently for the Daily Mail on Monday as to why Newcastle will finish above Manchester United. That comes back to character. Newcastle just would not lose a game the way Manchester United did on Sunday. It comes back to quality. As much as Luke Shaw said, Newcastle won the game on desire as opposed to superior ability, I disagree. Who would you rather have, Alexander Isak or Wout Weghorst? Bruno Guimaraes or Marcel Sabitzer. So quality, desire, and also schedule. I just think Newcastle now, once they negotiate this week, it's I would never say easy, but it's a fairly kind running in terms of the intensity of the fixtures compared to some of the rivals who are still in cup competition. So yeah, I just think everything is going for them, and they've just ran back into the right vein of form. In terms of fitness as well, it's just the right point in the season now. And Eddie said they're on a mission to be the best they possibly can be. Well, for me, and I'm sure for him, the best they possibly can be is is the top 4, and that's got to be the aim now. So yeah, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this little detour to the coast. I'll give you one last little panoramic of the Long Sands. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I hope the sound came through. Okay, I'm on a pal mic there. I'm aware it is pretty blustery up here, but safe trip down to West Ham if you're going tomorrow. I won't be there, but hopefully I may bring you a little video verdict afterwards. I'm on Sky tomorrow night, so yeah, hopefully I'll have time to bring you my thoughts. I'll be watching the game. Take care. Thanks again for watching. Hit subscribe, top right. You know, I'm told enough. I don't say that as much as I probably should do. So yeah, thanks again, guys. Bye bye.